Okay, so a little bit about bike weight and people's obsession with weighing their bike and how much it weighs, and I've been guilty of it myself in the past, which is why I own a set of digital scales in the first place. And I'm not talking about, obviously if your bike weighs, I don't know, 25 kilos, then you know that's a heavy bike, it's going to hinder you, it's going to make a difference. But that's not what people obsess about. They obsess about making their 10 kilo bike weigh 9 kilos, or their 9 kilo bike weigh less than 7 kilos. And to be honest, once you're under 10 kilos, which you know most bikes are, and road bikes especially, which roadies are the worst for this whole weight thing, they're obsessed. Once you're under 10 kilos, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. I've got a bike that weighs 7 kilos, I've got a bike that weighs 10, I've got one that weighs 12, and it's not a huge consideration. It's far less important than you think. And to chase it costs a fortune. So to get a 10 kilo bike to weigh 7 kilos, you're probably going to spend £500, £600, £700 on wheels, which is a major weight saving straight away. And then you're going to be looking at things like carbon seat posts and carbon rail saddles, and it all costs a huge amount of money for very little return. There's a perceived return because you're constantly reading about how these lightweight bikes are going to make you quicker up a hill and things like that, but in reality, once you're under that, I firmly believe once you're under that 10 kilogram mark, it really doesn't make that much difference. And in some cases a 12 kilogram bike can be quite nice to ride too. It's not, the weight isn't the huge factor that people think it is. And if you look at bike weights now, with disc brakes and the aero tubing and that kind of thing, you know, you can buy bikes for £5,000 that still weigh 8.5 kilos these days, because they've realised now that weight, getting everything to this 6.9 kilogram UCI weight limit, or as close as possible, is unnecessary, completely unnecessary. The whole weight thing is a hugely exaggerated. The advantage is hugely exaggerated. You will have, like I say, when I come off my 7 kilo bike onto my 9-10 kilo bike, there's a difference, but I mean there's a difference in the feel of the bikes because of tyre size and things like that. But the weight, just don't get into the trap of chasing losing 2 kilos off your bike or 3 kilos off your bike. It costs an absolute fortune to do, and the return you get for the money is mostly just perceived. In reality, it's not going to suddenly make you, I mean, it might okay, saving 3 kilos off your bike might make you 40 seconds quicker over a 10 kilometer ride, but does that matter to the average rider? You know, is that what the average rider is concerned about? The average rider is out riding with their mates. They stop, stop at a coffee shop, have a drink or whatever, or they stop and just have a chat at the trail side, stop to have a look at a trail before they ride it. It's not like every ride's a TT and you're looking to shave off those 40 seconds by having wheels that weigh next to nothing. And of course all that lightweight stuff is less durable. Yeah, it's just, there's better areas to spend money. The whole comfort thing now is starting to be recognised as a key to speed. So the comfort, I've said this before, the contact points, the wider tyres, all better places to spend your money than constantly trying to lose. And I've been guilty of it. I mean, there's the scales. I've weighed saddles and things in the past. You know, when I was on the carbon bike back in the day, if I found a saddle that weighed 50 grams less than the one that was on the bike, even if it wasn't as comfortable, I'd have put that saddle on there just to save the weight. But in reality, yeah, it's just don't chase it. Just don't chase it. This big whole thing that having a bike 2 kilograms lighter than the one you've got is going to make you massively faster just doesn't, you know, I've been cycling now all my life really, but cycling seriously, you know, for the last 20, 30 years, and I've tried all these things, and yeah, these days I'm quite happy on a bike that weighs 10 kilos with 35mm tyres on it, a nice comfy saddle and a decent riding position. And I know it's not for everyone. If you're competitive and you're chasing times, then you know, and you can afford it, then carry on. But it's not bike weight. It doesn't matter a tenth as much as people think it does.